How's it going, everyone? This is Michael for Spirit Comics. Welcome to my review of Extraordinary X-Men number 17. This is a tie-in to the Inhumans vs. X-Men event that Marvel Comics put out some time ago. I wanted to review this event because I did enjoy it. Now, I want to say something about this cover. Not necessarily the artwork, but what the cover depicts. Now, like I've mentioned recently with my review of The Mighty Captain Marvel number 0, it depicted the hero, the Carol Danvers, as being weighed down. I mean, they didn't really portray that so much in issue 0, but it was portrayed on the cover. And she was weighed down by being called the greatest hero on Earth, the mightiest. That can get to a person, especially a hero, if they think that they have to live up to those expectations. And here on the cover of Extraordinary X-Men number 17, we see Storm here in the middle being weighed down by what appears to be a statue carved, or no, maybe not statue, but a likeness of the Inhumans carved inside a mountain. And so Storm here in the middle is being weighed down by the responsibility she has to protect her species, the mutants, from the Terrigen Mist Cloud, which will cause all mutants to die. But it's good for the Inhumans because it brings them into, maturity. Will bring them power. They will activate their powers. But as you see around Storm, to her left, Old Man Logan, Nightcrawler, and there's Rogue. They appear dead. Then over to her right, looks like Jean Grey, Magneto, Illyana, Iceman, possibly Forge. They look dead too, or at least suffering. So this cover, I believe, depicts the weight Storm feels as the current leader of the X-Men, to protect them, to be the one to make the hard decisions, the hard calls, to lead her people to safety. So that being said, I think it's a good message for the cover of this comic book to convey that not everybody has life easy, and especially superheroes don't have life easy because they have to make hard decisions, hard calls. And if you're a regular person like me, sometimes you have to make a hard decision. And that's what being a hero is partially about, making the hard decisions and making sure your friends, your family, your loved ones are safe. So let's get into the story. Now it says here on the on this page, reacting to the danger of the Terrigen Cloud, which creates Inhumans but kills mutants, Storm, the leader of the X-Men, that one right there, top left hand, moved the Jean Grey School to Limbo, X-Haven, as it has come to be known. It is now a refuge from the Terrigen for the mutant population and their families. Discovering that the Terrigen cloud circling the Earth was on the verge of dissipating into the atmosphere, rendering Earth uninhabitable for mutants, the X-Men have decided to take decisive action against the Inhumans. But not everyone is completely confident in that decision. So in this issue we have Storm, Iceman, Magik, Colossus, Cerebra, who looks like a Sentinel, Nightcrawler, Jean Grey, and Old Man Logan. And that must have been Magik on the cover, so I thought, for some reason I thought it was Illyana. Anyway, let's get into the story. So we open up here at the place called X-Haven in Limbo. And I believe this is Storm no, this is not Storm narrating. This is one of the refugees narrating. When we came to this place they are calling X-Haven, I thought everything was going to be okay. When the X-Men came to Philly and found us, they said they would bring us somewhere safe. They said they were working on a way to cure the Mpox. And if you don't know, Mpox is a virus caused in mutants by this Terrigen cloud. And this child right here, this boy, you see he's suffering the effects of the Terrigen cloud. See what it's doing to him, making his skin act like that, and of course he's lost all hair. And that may not have been due to the Terrigen cloud though. At first my mom said no to them. She told Iceman and the gothy blonde girl with the sword that we wouldn't leave our home. They were nice about it. They left us a communicator device in case we changed our minds. Then they left. It didn't take long for everyone in our neighborhood to find out my sister was a mutant and that she was sick. After that we knew we had no choice. We knew we had to leave. And that's the sister she's talking about right there on the table, suffering from the Mpox. And these are all refugees in the X-Haven camp, that's located in Limbo. So we called the X-Men. And the X-Men came just like they said they would. Next thing we knew, we were here in X-Haven. And like I said, I thought everything would be okay. But it's not. My sister was already beyond help. The X-Men tried everything. They even had mutants who were healers. But not even they could help Maya, her sister. Now it's too late. It's only a matter of time. And this is Maya. Is she here? Shh, sleep. You need your rest, Maya. She's suffering from the Mpox virus. And that's her sister. Is she coming soon? Her sister says. You promise? She holds her hand and says, I promise. And then her mother says, you shouldn't make promises like that, Alicia. You don't. Where are you going? Where do you think, Mom? She promised to take care of us. She promised to save her. So, one way or the other, or another, I'm going to find her. So, who's she looking for? Da-da-da-da-da. I'm going to find Storm, the leader of the X-Men. At least at this time. What happened? Magik said. No, that's not Magik. That's Illyana. There's so many mutants at this time. It gets confusing for me. And this is Iceman. You know, he looks really dorky. I mean, come on. His hair looks like clumps of snow pasted together. He says, "Not now. You just went to a secret meeting that Beast called on Muir Island with all the other X-Men bigwigs, which I still can't believe I wasn't invited to. Now you won't even tell us what the hell happened?" And there's Storm. She's just trying to keep it. She's trying to keep it together, you know. We all have days like that. I will. I just need to regroup. Look, get the rest of the team together, and we'll debrief you all in 15 minutes. So when you've got people coming at you from all sides, you know, wanting this and wanting that, it can be overwhelming. Illyana says, Beast's meeting was about the Inhumans and the Terrigen crisis. You can't expect us to wait. Just tell us, Storm, are we going to war with the Inhumans or not? She says, I don't know. You don't know? What do you mean you don't know? Well, that's just what she means, Iceman. That she doesn't know. And Old Man Logan says, easy, Popsicle. She's had a rough day. She had to zap one of her best friends. What? It ain't good, he says. And on that note, I have work to do. Preparations to make. That's Forge. Preparations? Would someone please just tell us what's going on? And this is young Iceman. He was somehow pulled from the past into the future. I don't know the details. Old Man Logan says, you guys need to prepare for the worst. And he was somehow pulled from the future to the present. I don't know how that happened either. Anyway, we go over here to see Storm silently walking through the halls of X-Haven. And Maya's sister Alicia tries to get her attention. She says, excuse me, Miss Storm? Yes? Sorry, you don't really know me, but look, I'm very sorry, but this is really not a good time. Please find one of the support staff. They will be happy to help you with anything you need. Oh, right. I understand. It's just that, well, and Old Man Logan comes in and says, Ro, I need to talk to you. Logan, we're meeting the others in 10 minutes. And he says, me and you, now. And so she says, fine, my office. But you want to know the weirdest part about this whole thing? Well, you'd think my sister would have been freaked out that she had the Mpox and that she had to leave home. I mean, Alicia's standing there in the hall, sort of dejected because she can't get any help. And we all know what that feels like. When you're trying to get assistance for something or other, and you just can't seem to grasp it. Anyway, Alicia says, and she was sick, and she was scared, but the truth is, she was also excited. In a weird way, this was sort of her dream come true. She was going to go live with the X-Men. She could barely contain herself as we packed to come here. I think she kind of thought it would mean she was going to join the X-Men. My sister is only 10. Her powers came really young compared to most mutants. She can see through things like X-ray vision, I guess. At least that's as close as she can describe it. And then, of course, for some odd reason, there's a Sentinel walking around X Haven, which almost steps on Alicia here. You have to know my sister, but all she ever wanted since she could talk was to be a superhero, and there was no superhero she loved more than Storm. Storm was her number one hero. She always dressed up as Storm for Halloween, and sometimes just for no reason at all. Hey, that's kind of funny. But that's what you do when you have an idol. You look up to them, and sometimes you want to dress up like them. Of course, I'm too old for that now, and plus I don't have any idols that I would want to appear as. Anyway, she's still walking around X Haven and thinking to herself, and now she was going to not only be a superhero but get to meet Storm too. I have never seen her more excited than the day we were coming here. She was already starting to feel really sick, but being here seemed to lift her spirits a lot at first. But we haven't even talked to the X-Men since we got here. They were always going off on missions, like against that Mr. Sinister guy, or that time demons attacked everyone. And there they are, fighting the good fight against the bad guys. And there's Storm, their leader, Jean Grey, the young Jean Grey, Nightcrawler, I'm guessing, and I'm guessing that's Old Man Logan, Popsicle, or Iceman. Anyway, over here we have same characters again. Alicia is thinking, it seemed like it was one crazy thing after another. I mean, I get it. They're big superheroes. They have so much they have to do. And everyone here says they are fighting to save us and to find a cure. But now I have to tell Maya that she's probably not going to get to meet Storm before. No, I promised her, is what she tells herself. I promised. And look at her face. She storms off away from her tent, determined to find Storm, whose real name, by the way, in case you didn't know, is Ororo Monroe. And here's Storm and Old Man Logan talking in her office. She says, "Look, Logan, I know the others have a right to know what's going on. When this starts, if we really are going to war, it's going to happen fast. I just needed a moment to collect myself." And he says, "If? Excuse me?" Storm says. "You said if we're going to war. I think we're past that, Ro. It's happening. You were there. We are out of time. This ain't a matter of if anymore. Either the Inhumans, Terrigen Cloud goes, or we do." "I know that, Logan," she says. "So why do I still get the feeling you're not sure?" "Because war goes against everything I am. This is not just some battle against Mr. Sinister or Apocalypse. This is different. I swore to protect these people, not to send them to war. War may be the only way to protect them," Logan says. "It doesn't seem what? Heroic. I mean, isn't that what we're supposed to be? Heroes?" she says. "Well, sometimes heroes have to make the hard calls. But see, she's trying to live up to an ideal of what she thinks she's supposed to be, instead of just being herself. Storm Aurora Monroe, the leader of the X-Men. And Logan says, being a hero ain't as simple as it used to be. You're telling me, she says. And if we do this, if we go after the Inhumans, there will be no going back, will there? Back to when? Back to how it used to be. Back to how it was when we started all of this. And we see a depiction of them from the 1960s when that team came together. From left to right: Nightcrawler, Kitty Pryde, Colossus, the original Jean Grey with the Phoenix Force inside her, Storm, Cyclops, and Wolverine. And she goes on to say, but then I guess it hasn't been like that in a long time, has it? Even longer for me. Whatever happens, whatever you decide, I'll follow your lead, Ro. I just hope I know where to lead us, Logan, and I hope I know before it's too late. Logan always did have her back. And that's what made them, a good team, I think. And we go back to Alicia, who's still trying to find Storm. Now, the artwork in this book is kind of simple, but it's not the artwork, to me, that stands out. It's the story that stands out. Alicia's thinking, want to know one of the first things I learned when we came here? The X-Men have cliques just like anyone else. The young ones stick together, so do the older ones. It kind of feels like high school, all over again. And just like in high school, you have to know which kids are the cool kids. And from what I can tell, there's no one cooler than the redhead. And that is Jean Grey, believe it or not. And because in Uncanny X-Men 16, she looked a lot older than that. She says, excuse me, Jean? Hi. Hi, my name's Alicia. You don't know me. I'm really sorry to bother you. I know you guys are busy with everything, but... She says, I'm so sorry, Alicia, but we actually have a meeting for the X-Men. Maybe we can talk some other time, okay? And they just turn back to, I guess, to whatever it is they were doing there, talking or whatever. And then it gets really dramatic. And I love this. Alicia breaks. She literally screams, why won't someone listen to me? My sister is going to die. And that gets the attention of them all, because she screams at the top of her lungs and then starts crying. She says, but please, can you just help me find Storm? Now this picture here, I think is a really good piece of artwork, because it shows details of her face. You can see how she sort of has bags under her face, the black spots, and also her nose seems to be, I don't know if that's some dirt or whatever, but she's crying and she just appears worn, someone who's tired, someone who's sad, someone who just needs some help but can't seem to find it. And then back in her sister's tent, Maya, there's her mother sitting with the little girl. And she comes back with a smile on her face. And her mom says, Alicia, where have you been, girl? Mom, Maya was asking for you. I don't think she has much time. You can't just... Oh! And in comes Storm, the leader of the X-Men. Miss Jackson, I'm sorry it took me so long to come visit. I've been so busy, but I know that's no excuse. You came, Maya says, and her look at her face light up. And Storm says, and you must be Maya? I've heard a lot about you. You have? I mean, she's overwhelmed that Storm knows something about her. And Storm tries to smile and says, yes, your big sister here told me all about you as we walked over here. She tells me you want to join the X-Men? Yes, I have powers. I can see through everything. That is an incredible power. It could be very useful. Now what should we call you? Have you thought of a mutant code name yet? And she sits there with a smile on her face and says, Lucid. Because I'm guessing she's been lucid in her sleep. You know, in and out. And Storm says, Lucid, I like that. And Alicia's thinking. Just then something shifted in the tent. It was as if the air changed or something, and I just knew my sister was almost gone. And I think Maya knew it too. Because that's the Mpox. That's how it affects the mutants. Well, Lucid, as acting leader of the X-Men, I would like to officially make you a member of the team. And I won't lie, this issue really got to me. It's very rare that a issue tugs at my heartstrings, but this one did. Okay, let's try this again. My sister knew everything there was to know about Storm. She cut out every Storm picture she found in magazines. She knew every Storm fan site and every fact about her life. So I knew exactly what my little sister saw in that moment before her death. And this is the different moments of Storm's life. She saw a reformed thief. She saw an icon. She saw a rebel. She saw a queen. She saw a warrior. Most of all, though, she saw her hero come to save her. And you may not be able to see it, but there's Storm sitting by her bed, and all she says is, no. And then what we see is this huge crack of thunder. She is the Storm is has been called the Weather Witch because she can manipulate weather. And at that moment, if you can see the lightning, that blue lightning come from her eyes, well, thunder and lightning happen. Kakoom! And all the mutants look up, wondering what happened. And then Storm looks down at the ground with tears in her eyes, crying because Maya is gone. And she walks out of the girl's tent. Jean greets her and says, "Storm? She's gone." And then she addresses all the mutants. "Listen to me, everyone. As you all know too well, we have been waging a battle against the effects of the Terrigen Cloud, which causes the Mpox virus. I brought you here to Limbo with the assumption that we would find a way to reverse the effects of the Mpox, because that is what we do. We are the X-Men, and when it matters, we always find a way." That's what they do. They always find a way. And so she continues talking and says, "I thought we could live in peace. I thought we could work together with the Inhumans to stop the death and the sickness." And she looks down and says, "Just now, I held the hand of a brave little girl, one of us, a mutant named Lucy, as she succumbed to the Mpox. And in that moment, I finally admitted to myself that this time we have failed. There is no safe haven. There is no cure. Of this, we are now sure. I swore to keep you safe, and now I know there is only one way that I can truly do that." So they listen for her word. She says, "What we are about to do will divide the world even further than it already is. I will understand if any of you want to stay here." And Logan says, "We're with you, Ro, always." And there's Jean Grey, Forge, Iceman, Nightcrawler, Illyana, Colossus, all standing there listening to her in the rain. She gets a stern look on her face and says, "Good. Then it begins. Not one more mutant dies from this disease. Goddess help us all. There is only one thing left to do. For today, we join our brothers and sisters above. Today, we march on New Attilan and the Inhumans. Today, we go to war." To be continued. That was the decision she was struggling with. And she's the leader currently at this time of the X-Men. So she had to struggle with that decision. She would prefer peace, but now she knows peace is not the answer. So that's my review of this issue of Extraordinary X-Men number 17. And despite what this checklist says, Uncanny X-Men was released shortly before Extraordinary X-Men was. So, that's why I have it in the order I do. Did you enjoy this issue? I certainly did. I'm not afraid to admit it. A few times this had me at tears because it was such a good story. It conveyed a personal emotion. loss, struggle, indecision. That's how you identify with an audience, I believe. Not by, a person's ethnicity or their belief system, but by a personal struggle, by opening up the life of a superhero and showing that they too have decisions to make, hard decisions. They have struggles that they are always at war with while they're at war with someone else. I liked this issue a lot. I really did. It was good. I did not collect Extraordinary X-Men during its run, but I did enjoy this story. I really did. So if you enjoyed it or if you didn't, leave your comments below. Please subscribe to my channel, Spirit Comics, if you haven't already. Also, smash that bell like She-Hulk so you can be notified of all new uploads. And please like the video and share it if you did enjoy it. Till next time, true believers.